this episode, I will show you some more from my travel in South Senegal. If you haven't seen my last video, there's a link in the end of this video. But also I want to show you some more old artwork I made in the beginning of my life in West Africa, and when I had so much inspiration, and some recent work too. But first, back to my trip. After a couple of weeks in the Abene Kafentine area of Casamance, which is South Senegal, we decided to travel to the very south of the country, to Cap Skirring and Cabrousse. But on the way there, we decided to stay a couple of days in Ziguinchor. It is the largest town in Casamance and it's right by the river. Here we are at Hotel Le Perroquet, where you sit and eat right next to the water and you can watch closely the fishing boats coming in and out. This ferry here connects Ziguinchor with Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal. For the longer journeys between the big towns, I decided not to go on the motorbike, the Red Horse. So instead I took minibuses, and this was probably one of the worst looking, and the poor goat was put on the roof and he complained loudly all the way to Cap Skirring. Cap Skirring is a little bit like the Riviera of Senegal. Here you find Club Med, some other fancy hotels with beautiful nature around, and a beach that goes on forever. We stayed in a quite cheap and simple round hut, and I love round huts, but still with the 5-star breakfast view. One day we decided to take the bike a bit south of Cap Skirring and cross over the river into the country of Guinea-Bissau and head to Varela. Dat is een kip. No GPS, no map, and small sand trails going everywhere. We had to stop several times in the bush when we saw a house with people to ask the way to Varela. After a nice swim, we had lunch and coffee at a nearby lodge. They called the motorbike taxi for us to help find a shorter way to get back to the river, and the boat that stopped running at 7 p.m. So I hope you liked my little travel video there. It was really a fun time. I left my house in the Gambia to be out maybe, I don't know, I packed for 1 week and I ended up staying 3 weeks, and it was very much adventure, and hope for next season that I have more to show you, you know, more trips to do. Now it's time for me to show you some old artwork that I did when I first came to the Gambia, just like as a tourist. I was there my first time in 2012, and after that I got so much inspiration. But you know, like 2016 I kind of moved to the Gambia, you could say, 6 months of the year, and I kept painting. It is like a style that kind of started by coming to Gambia. So I wanted to go through my artwork and tell you a little bit how I created them, like different techniques and styles that I use. This is probably the first painting I did after my first trip to the Gambia. I got the inspiration from visiting Tangier fish market. And this is sort of a paper doll technique because I've used brown cardstock for the skin, and I bought different thick patterned paper for the clothes, and then I glued it onto an acrylic background, and the same goes for the baskets, fish and fruit, and it's all very three-dimensional. This house is also with similar thick patterned paper. This is an acrylic painting. Nothing glued in, just painted in my happy, whimsical style, especially with her elongated neck and the bird with the big blue eyes. This is my first painting of vultures, also quite whimsical with way too long beaks and big eyes. I sold these two paintings to the same person. They go very well together, I think, with a light cool yellow and burgundy. This one is created a few years later, a messy process, lots of collage to cut. In this technique, I sort of use the collage pieces as paint, but I've also used a bit of acrylic paint on the girl's face and also the background. I loved creating this one, and it's very much in layers. The taxi is painted on white paper, cut out and glued onto the acrylic background. The woman and goat are also painted on white paper and glued on top of the taxi. I've called this painting Turntable, which is a busy, well-known place in the Gambia. This is not a finished painting. I didn't like how the faces turned out. It was inspired by a photo I took during a naming ceremony where the woman in the front prepared ataya, which is a sweet green tea. Eventually I decided to crop it, and finally I made new painting from that idea and was much more pleased with the face and her purple dress. This one is called The Beach Cow of Batukuku. And here to the left you can see my raw sketch, my plan for the painting. And on the right is my drawing of a cow from a reference photo, which I enlarged in a copy machine to fit the painting size. And then I glued it on to a watercolor background, and I kept drawing everything behind. Here to the left you can see the painting in what I call the ugly phase, with a lot of messy paint to create an underpainting, which is a way to give vibrancy and life to it. And then to the right I put more layers on top to kind of clean it up. And from here I just keep working to refine the painting. Here I painted these two sheep with the beautiful horns. They are painted with acrylics onto a stretched canvas, and I've used stamps and stencils to give some marks and pattern. It's the largest painting in my house. I hope you enjoyed following me on my trip and seeing some of my artwork. And if you haven't seen my previous video, here's a link to it. And please like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video.